Hello and welcome to Deb's Digest. I am happy to have you here today. I am presenting this episode from my bed. I am resting today. I am feeling a little bit under the weather, and that is due to a 2-week run of insomnia. I feel great otherwise, but what happens is I go to bed at 9:30, pretty exhausted because, as you know, I like to stay pretty active. And then I go immediately to sleep, and then I wake up at midnight, and then the full body aches come into play. And then I toss and turn. Whether I'm sleeping or not, I'm either dreaming the pain or I'm awake feeling the pain. And then I finally conk out from exhaustion about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then wake up at 6 when the family activities necessitate that I wake up. So what I want to talk to you about today is, being that this channel is called Deb's Digest, and it's focusing on not only the stories of life and activities of life, but also celiac disease and the things that we deal with. I'm having a call out. I'm making a call out to any of you who have autoimmune issues, who either have celiac disease, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, hypothyroidism, particularly those conditions, and interested in your experiences. So if you have any of those conditions and would love to share your stories, I would love to read your stories. So please put those in the comments below, and thank you for your time in doing that. So I was diagnosed back in November. Actually, I was diagnosed by my gastroenterologist, who asked me to talk to my family practice doctor about it, which I did, but she didn't think it was important. About 4 years ago, about 6 years ago, with subclinical hypothyroidism. At that point in time, my TSH was in the low 3.0. TSH is the thyroid stimulating hormone, which the pituitary gland makes when your thyroid is running low on its hormone. The pituitary gland will stimulate the thyroid to make more. And so when your TSH starts getting up there towards 4.0, that's kind of showing that your thyroid is having to work harder than it should. And back in November, I had an 18-day long menstrual cycle. So I went into my OBGYN, and she said, well, you are perimenopausal and in your 50s, so it could be just your last period giving us its grand finale, which happens sometimes, but let's go ahead and run a hormone panel. So she did everything, my FSH, my estrogen, progesterone, all of that stuff, which all amazingly came out normal. But my thyroid came out as being subclinically low. So she put me on a cleanse called Metagenics, which I went on for 2 or 3 weeks, I can't remember, and then on an elimination diet, and I will talk about that probably in another video. It depends on how long this video takes. But long story short, what she was trying to do was heal my gut so that pathogens or proteins, renegade proteins, didn't go in my bloodstream, causing inflammation, causing cell death of an inflammation of my thyroid. So I'm not going to talk about that specifically now. That'll be in another video. So what I wanted to do is talk about the connection between celiac disease and hypothyroidism, and I'm going to read an excerpt from this book here. You got the mirrored version. Let me see if with my app, I can't actually switch it to the non-mirrored vision. Sorry about that. But it says celiac disease, a hidden epidemic, and it talks here about thyroid disease and Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. It says the thyroid is a small gland that has a large presence in the body. Thyroid hormones regulate metabolism, influence muscle and bone growth and development, and affect heart and vascular functions. The hormones also play a role in brain function and behavior. Autoimmune thyroid disease is the most common autoimmune disease seen. So it would be more common than celiac disease and is very commonly found in people with celiac disease. There are two forms of the condition, Hashimoto's disease and hypothyroidism. My Hashimoto's antibodies came to be negative, so as at this time, I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I have several first step and second step relatives that have it. Hashimoto's disease is an autoimmune form of hypothyroidism. Let me back up. Hashimoto's disease, an autoimmune form of hypothyroidism, is the most common. It is usually diagnosed prior to the celiac diagnosis and requires treatment with thyroid hormone replacement. Hypothyroidism can be subclinical for many years. And that is what I'm assuming is my situation, that I've been subclinical for many years, and my OBGYN doctor just happened to notice it back in November. Because I have had the same symptoms for many years, and they haven't really ramped up. It may manifest when the metabolism of the body is stressed, such as during or after pregnancy, and that did definitely happen to me. When I was pregnant with my third child, I was diagnosed with full-blown hypothyroidism, and then after he was born, I was diagnosed with the opposite, hyperthyroidism, and then after he was 3 months old, it was a year old, it all normalized. It can happen after traumatic illness. If the thyroid gland is inflamed due to an autoimmune mechanism, it cannot produce enough of the necessary thyroid hormone just when the body has increased demands for it. This results in clinical hypothyroidism. Just to mention, and another question you can answer for me in the comments is, for those of you who have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism, do you feel pain, like an ache right in here? Because that is a new symptom for me. I would be interested to find out the answer to that. So these symptoms include fatigue. I don't have that except for today because of no sleep. Depression, sort of. Muscle cramps, yes. And constipation, sort of. Patients may also have unexplained weight gain, not yet. An intolerance to cold, yes. Without thyroid hormone, the body's metabolic rate drops, leaving the body's thermostat below the comfort zone. Or dry, thickened skin and scalp. I don't know if I have that. Treatment for hypothyroidism is straightforward, thyroid hormones in a bottle, but there can be problems with the therapy. Soy has been implicated as a cause of reduced absorption of thyroid hormone replacement therapy. Interestingly, we have seen 2 patients diagnosed with celiac disease because their endocrinologist could not explain their increased thyroid hormone requirements to maintain a normal level of the hormone in their bloodstream. Their astute endocrinologist realized that they were malabsorbing the medication. Oh, that's not good. I'm not looking forward to that. I hope that's not a problem for me if I end up on the medication. That was good to know. Conversely, patients with celiac disease may require a reduced level of thyroid hormone replacement after the intestines have healed. Okay. Well, mine have probably healed up. I've been gluten-free for 10 years now, so I probably don't have as much of the problem. This book is really good. It talks about the many different autoimmune disorders you can develop as a result or in addition to celiac disease. I have family members that have different autoimmune situations. It's talking about here lupus. I have a sister with lupus. I have an uncle with rheumatoid arthritis. I have a daughter with fibromyalgia. I have several family members with autism and ADHD. Oh, and then dental enamel defects. I'm going to talk about that in my next video because I just went to the dentist yesterday. So I'll make another video today about that. I'll read this. And Raynaud's syndrome. Sorry, I'm having my ADHD moment right now. I have Raynaud's syndrome, so that's another topic we could talk about someday. So that's another autoimmune disease that you can get, or condition you can get as a celiac. So anyway, my OBGYN she is a functional medicine doctor. She has an MD, but she was trained at Loma Linda University, which teaches nutrition. So she has a functional medicine mindset. So she's trying to see if my thyroid will heal itself, which is a thinking that doctors didn't used to have, that you could try and heal your thyroid. I'm not of the mindset that I can absolutely heal my thyroid by cutting out other foods that might be cross-reactive to gluten. But I'm open-minded enough to try and see if it will work. I'm also open-minded enough that if I need the medication, that I will go on it. I just want to try the alternative stuff over the next few weeks first. And then if I don't see any movement in my TSH back down to a lower number, then I will definitely go on the meds, because nights and nights and nights of no sleep, not good when you have a large family, which I don't. I have a large family and they need me on task. So, and I want to be, because I enjoy what I do. So I would love to hear any comments from any survivors of these two conditions, these two autoimmune conditions, celiac disease and hypothyroidism. I don't know anybody that has both of them together personally, so any discussion I would find would be very interesting. So thank you for watching, and I hope that any information here might also help you along in your journey if you have a autoimmune condition. Thank you. Have a great day.